Good afternoon and welcome to Hill Stadium in Saco and CTV30's coverage of Thornton Academy High School football. This afternoon, the home opener for Thornton Academy. They enter into this one against Waterville 0-1. The Panthers, meanwhile, 1-0. And of course, last week, Tony, you look at the game, Thornton Academy shut out offensively. So again, the offense needs to come up big today. The field a little bit slick, but doesn't seem that bad, so it shouldn't bother the offense too much today.
No, it really shouldn't. Thornton Academy, a speed-oriented team with Chris Mercier. He really has to step it up today. They're 0-1. They really need a victory today. And I think they got to use their speed to their advantage. Waterville's a very big team. 2 kids over 270 on that line, playing both ways. If Thornton Academy can use their speed, run down Waterville, I think Thornton has a really good chance of winning.
Now, of course, the offense today. Last week, Ryan True about 4 touches in that game. Chris Mercier about 4 touches. Those two people need to see the ball a lot more today. Of course, Thompson being the workhorse, you'd expect him to see the ball a lot again today. But Waterville, as we said, very big up front, so they might need to get outside and try to use the speed. And then flipping on the other side, defensively, Thornton Academy did a nice job last week in the first half. Second half got used up a little bit as Noble controlled the football for most of that second half. And Waterville offers the same type of thing, a big offensive line and some good backs who know how to run. Douglas, their tailback, an excellent all-purpose back. And Neto, we know the quarterback, is a crafty veteran. He comes in as a senior after a good game last year. So Thornton's going to be asked to do some things differently here on defense as well.
Thornton Academy's defense did a great job last week, but again, they are going to have to play that punishing style of defense. Waterville, an Eastern Maine team, you know they love to run the ball, but they do like to pass the ball. The cornerbacks are going to have to be away because Waterville's going to try and run, draw that 9-man front in the single coverage. If Neto can get single coverage, Thornton Academy could be in trouble because of his passing ability.
Yeah, we remember last year, Thornton Academy leading late in that game. I believe it was like 7-6, and then a turnover, and next thing you know, Waterville scored 2 touchdowns very late to win that game, and that game really set the tone for Thornton's season last year because a win there, 2-0, I think it would have really propelled them, and instead they had to fight through their season, finishing up at 4-4 during the regular season. Today, of course, a big one because after this one, it doesn't get any easier. It's Bonnie Eagle, Marshwood, and Sanford, all teams who have shown that they are compatible teams this year and can really compete in Western A. So a big afternoon this afternoon for the Golden Trojans. They take on Waterville. We'll take a break. Back with the opening kickoff right after this. Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan, cameraman for this afternoon, Dennis Avery, as the tri-captains for the Waterville Panthers and Thornton Academy Golden Trojans meet at midfield. The coin toss won by Waterville, deferred. That seems to be the common theme in Class A football. Tri-captains for Thornton Academy, Brian Thompson, Travis Roy, and Chris Mercier. And Waterville will kick off, so Thornton Academy's offense will be tested right away. And, of course, Thornton Academy needs to get something going, and you'd like to see them sustain a drive and get the offense clicking a little bit where they start to rebuild some of that confidence that seems to have gone by the wayside in that first loss to Noble.
You really would. Thornton Academy's offense, well, struggled against Noble. Couldn't get much of a running game going for a long time. Finally got their passing game going a little bit. But again, it would be nice to see Thornton get a drive going, not just for their offense, but for their defense as well, because Waterville does play those big kids both ways.
National anthem being sung by a student here at Thornton Academy, and the Golden Trojans will start on offense. And another factor, of course, the rain has subsided. Hurricane Hortense basically passing us by and giving us quite a bit of rain last night, but it's dried off. A lot of the games got played last night. A few got postponed till today. Biddeford playing this afternoon with their game with Deering, and last night South Portland winning easily over Westbrook. Bangor pretty easily over Portland. And, of course, this field here at Hill Stadium, just a beautiful field as far as drainage goes. It definitely has absorbed all the rain, and it looks in great condition for football here this afternoon. And Thornton Academy would love to see some special teams works here. And, of course, Chris Mercier, the most dangerous back last year, probably in Class A football last week, having a very tough time fielding the ball the first few times. A couple bounce off him and never really got going. And Mercier deep in the middle to receive this opening kick. You'd love to see him take one here and burn it. Little onside kick of sorts. I think the kicker just stubbed the ground, and luckily for the Trojans, Travis Roy alert and gets on the football because it did go the required 10 yards, and that could have been a very costly mistake actually for Thornton Academy because I don't think that was intended to be an onside kick. Golden Trojans will set up their offense. The center is Roy, one of the tri-captains. Jim Buffard, Noel Heidish, the guards. Daryl Rondo and Jason Grantham, the tackles. At tight end is Josh Gregoire. Wide out is Soroyce to the near side of the field. And Duranzo, early handoff. It's Ryan True into the secondary, and that's something Thornton Academy did not use last week, was the I formation and True straight up running following his big fullback Brian Thompson.
Great job by the right side of Thornton Academy's offensive line, Buffard and Rondo. That's what they didn't do a lot last week, Jay. They didn't go to that I formation very much. I think it works to their advantage because Ryan Thompson's a very good lead blocker.
Yeah, and over the years, a lot of the fans here have complained that the I formation is used too much, and last week it was the opposite. The bread and butter, the I formation for decades here at Thornton Academy, and I believe we have offsides on Waterville lined up in the neutral zone. Number 85, Jason Fortin. And the Trojans will pick up their first down, and boy, a great start for the Golden Trojans. Great field position on the botched kickoff, and then a 6-yard run, 5-yard offsides, and the Trojans have it first down and 10 at the Waterville 43-yard line. And last week, Thornton featured that double slot formation exclusively and never ran out of the I, and head coach Dick Agresti comes out with the I formation, 2 consecutive plays here. This time, Duranzo keeps it on the outside, and he picks up about a yard, hammered out there by David Conforth.
Tough play for Chris Duranzo, having to run that option to the close side of the field for them, to his right side. Of course, being right-handed, it's very tough to go to your left side. Waterville's linebackers reading the play easily and getting out there and making a quick tackle.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 9. Official timeout on the field here, stopping play. Thornton Academy featuring the new uniforms. We saw them last week, the gold helmets, and today they come with the maroon jerseys and the gold pants and the little Trojan on the side of the pants, looking very Boston College-ish, if you will. Flags down everywhere as Thompson tripped up at the line of scrimmage, dives forward for a couple. Brought down on the play by Nick Reed. Let's check the flags here.
If you're Thornton Academy, you really don't want this to start happening. Get the ball in good field position to start the game off. Get a couple of good plays, and then all of a sudden getting those penalties and slowing that drive right down.
So that'll put the Trojans back at Waterville's 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd and about 14. 9:58 to play here in the first quarter. Thornton Academy and Waterville Trojans 0-1, Waterville 1-0. Duranzo keeps, looks over the top, fires up for Gregoire, in and out of the hands of Josh Gregoire.
Tough one for Gregoire to hold on to, knowing you're going to get hit. He got hit very hard, looks like in the midsection. Adam Bay just standing there reading the pass, waiting for Gregoire to get to him, and now in a very important third down and long situation.
Travis Topham checks in at tight end for Gregoire, shaken up on the play. Third down and long now for the Trojans. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Duranzo rolling out, has plenty of time, and now unloads deep down the field. And the ball coming in, and nice defensive job keeping Sorois away from the football. Libby doing a nice job there.
Excellent job by Adam Libby. Man on man, Duranzo had all kinds of time to throw the ball, at least 5 seconds. Great job by Thornton Academy's offensive line. Unfortunately, with the wet field, the ball maybe a little bit wet, underthrowing Ricky Sorois.
So the Trojans 1 first down and then self-destruct. Of course, that penalty throwing a big cog in Thornton Academy's potential opening drive. And David Booton stands at his own 40. High snap, some pressure up the middle, and that ball almost blocked. And luckily, it squirts off to the right, and it'll be down by Mercier at the 22-yard line, where Waterville will set up first down and 10.
As we said in the opening, Waterville very big, and when I mean big, we'll go to the right tackle side of the ball. Number 79, Danny Giles, 6'8", 320. That's about as big as they'll come in Maine football.
Eric Netto, the 5'9", 175 senior, he leads the show at QB. In the backfield, Curvin, the fullback, Kevin Douglas, the tail, and Adam Bay works out of the Z-back, and they'll come with an 8-man line a lot, will the Panthers. Movement there, and a flag will be against Waterville. The Trojans stand up to play very nicely on first down. Looks like Jason Grantham in the middle of things, along with Brian Thompson. Grantham, a 6', 185 junior, played a very good game last week on defense, and of course logging a lot of plays offensively as well. And Trojans will take the penalty, move Waterville back, and as you said, an Eastern Maine team that isn't prone to throw the football all that well, although we saw Netto throw it quite well last season against the Golden Trojans and showed good scrambling ability. One big play where he scrambled for the first down. Good call here to move them back and try to make their offense do something they're not familiar with doing. And they come with 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Motion, they go with a counter play. Nothing happening there. Again, it's Grantham. Heidish also in on support along with Travis Topham.
Thornton reading that play all the way. Douglas, just a lot left coming across, and that little handoff and the pull from the left guard. Never fooling Thornton Academy at all, and Thornton Academy's left side of the defense doing a great job.
Ian Gould goes to the far side of the field. Adam Bay in slot right formation. Hand off to the fullback. Topham right there to meet it up front. And once again, Jason Grantham playing left tackle, doing a great job staying home and taking on the block and then taking on the runner. And that brings up a third down now and 15 yards.
Waterville's back seem to be moving a little bit early. I don't know if it's legal to do that or not, but I think Waterville's going to have to throw the ball up now.
Gould to the far side. Mercier draws sole coverage out there. And they're looking over the middle, and it's fired out, complete to Gould. Mercier covers up beautifully. Makes the tackle, gets help from David Booton. And Thornton Academy, good defensive stand right there. And again, the offsides penalty really hurting Waterville, as it did the Golden Trojans. But the defense doing a nice job on first down, as you said. That offensive line of Waterville, large to say the least. 210, 185, 320, 210, 280, 210 across their offensive line. totally outsizing the Golden Trojans. A good booming kick here. Mercier back by himself, legs it over, fields it at the 40. Comes up the near sideline and gets it back to midfield. And again, just a great job by Chris Mercier. You know, just looking at that play, you might not think that much of it, but Mercier running a long, long way, fielding a very high football on a wet field, and then scampers ahead for 10 positive yards and sets up Thornton Academy with great field position just short of midfield.
Excellent job by Chris Mercier. Knowing how to do this, will be his third year on the special teams, but again, number 12 for Waterville, Chris Carey. He was the only man that was not going to be blocked on that because Thornton Academy had that wall set up perfectly for Mercier to go all the way.
Trojans with their second possession. Andrew Tripp splits to the far side. Ricky Sorois comes to the near, and there's the double slot formation. Counter with Mercier. Mercier, one man to beat, and he would have been off to the races, but a great job by Conforth, the middle linebacker, staying low and taking Mercier down at the line of scrimmage, and that was just one player, as you said, maybe on that punt return, away from springing Mercier.
Excellent job by Waterville. Thornton Academy tried to run that play a couple of times last week, and Noble sniffed it out every time. I think Waterville might have looked at the tape and said, if we see this formation, Mercier might be getting the ball.
Yeah, great linebackers for Noble last week. They just did a marvelous job. Second down and 10. High formation. Ryan True busts through the hole, and he gets 5 positive yards into Waterville territory.
Ryan True just bowling his head down, getting those tough yards. 3 Waterville guys all over him, and he continued to move forward, getting 2 more yards. Big third down for Thornton Academy, though. You don't want to have that great defensive stop and then give it back right back to Waterville on 3 consecutive plays.
Well, I bumped into Ryan True this week and was talking to him about last week's game, and you know, he was disappointed he didn't see the ball more, and he's saying, I mean, I'm the type of back, I need to see that ball 5, 6, 7 times, 8 times to get myself going. Like a lot of the great tailbacks in the history of the NFL, they need those carries to get themselves in the rhythm. True this time on third down, finding not much of a hole, tried to bounce it outside, and he's hemmed in. Nice job right there by Fellows and Adam Bay. So the Trojans come up just short, 4th and 3. The ball at the 44 of Waterville, and David Booten back in. Clean snap, Booten with a lot of time. Short kick, but end over end, and coverage able to get down there, but scooping it up is Douglas, but Mercier will have nothing to do with that, and he gets a lot of support out there. Travis Roy, Craig Lebrecht, Josh Gregoire.
That could have been a very damaging play for Waterville. Wet field, wet ball. Try and field those on those hops sometimes, even with gloves on. Ball slips right out of your hands, and there were 4 or 5 Trojans all over him. Not going to go anywhere with that. Might have been better off just to leave it.
So the Trojans push Waterville back to their own 15. Panthers losing the field position war here in the first quarter. Hand off to the fullback, and a nice little hole busting up the middle for about 8 yards is Stefan Curvin.
Just a quick handoff, letting the center go up and hitting one of the linebackers. Excellent play call by Waterville. They've gone outside 3 times. Go up the middle, see what you can get. Now it's 2nd and 3 yards.
Gould comes to the near side of the field, split backfield, a little bit off right. And again, it's Curvin. Curvin looked like he was going places, but quickly the hole closes up. Josh Farron did a nice job coming up from safety. Also Brian Thompson.
Big third down for Thornton Academy right here. If you can hold them, you're going to get good field position. But if Waterville can get the first down, they get 4 more plays and continue to melt this clock down the first quarter. I think right now all they want to do is get the ball out of their end and make sure that Thornton Academy doesn't get the ball on their half of the field.
3:55 to play in the opening quarter. No score. Thornton in Waterville. Third down and 1. Power up the middle, and Curvin able to forward for a couple, and that'll give the Panthers their initial first down of the contest.
Big first down for Waterville. I don't think you want to punt 2 consecutive times on 3 plays. Good job by Kervin to see that hole, just get into it very quickly. 4 Thornton Academy's linebackers can really do anything. And now Waterville gets 4 first downs.
Kervin 5'9", 185, and he's a junior. First and 10, it's Douglas. Finds a hole after looking like he was going to be trapped in the backfield. Josh Farron and Brian Thompson again on the stop for the Golden Trojans.
Very slow developing play by Waterville, something that with Douglas' speed, as we saw during the warm-ups, Jay, I don't know if that's the best play for him. Maybe using him on a pitch or something to the outside, going up the middle, and a slow developing play just allows Thornton Academy's linebackers to read it and get there before Douglas does.
Second down and 10. Gould to the near side. Douglas now in motion. They go to the fullback up the middle. Kervin fights forward for a few yards, but that'll bring up a 3rd and long now. The ball at Thornton Academy's 31-yard line.
Waterville in a very long 3rd down, of course, being an Eastern Maine team. I don't know how many times they passed during a contest. We're going to see Neto have to throw the ball now on 3rd and 7.
Gould's out there with Booten. Booten draws him. Neto setting up. He's dangerous on a scramble. He breaks a couple of tackles, but the Trojans all over it. A lot of good run support coming up. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Waterville putting 8 guys on the line allows Thornton Academy to bring up 9 men, rushing the quarterback very quickly, not allowing him to step back there, have his time, throw the ball.
Mercier goes back by himself. He stands at his own 33. Another booming kick. That'll send Mercier over to his left. Again, fields it, comes up a gap. Trying to scamper outside, and he gets it up to the 46-yard line. Another excellent return by Mercier, getting 13 yards. And the Trojans, again, great field position to start. They've been all around midfield all first quarter long. With a minute 24 to go, their 3rd possession starts at the Waterville 46, at their own 46. They started at their own 45 and now at their 46, and the last time at midfield. So great field position starts, but the Trojans so far, again, that offense yet to score here in the 96 campaign. Thompson pushes the pile and gets a good 5 yards on 1st down.
Excellent job by Thornton Academy's offensive line, pushing the much bigger Waterville defensive line back. Thornton, I think, is going to try and run on their left side because Gould is on their right side of Thornton's offensive line. Very big body to move.
2nd down and 5. Trip goes to the far side. Again, it's Thompson. Thompson pulled down just short of the 1st down. Cornforth grabbing onto the jersey and hauling him back. That'll bring up a 3rd down and a long one. Thornton Academy here. Big play because still just a little shy of that 4-down territory unless it's real close, and Coach Agresti will opt for a gamble early in this contest. But the Trojans get a 1st down here, then they can look at 4 downs the rest of the way in. 3 receivers to the right. Thompson, the lone back in the backfield. Duranzo tries to keep it. Trying to bust outside, and he's going to lose a yard. Nice tackle out there. Hart, the 5'11", 180 sophomore, plays like a linebacker. Now Duranzo down on the field, shaken up.
Initial play made by number 85 for Waterville, Jason Thornton, their captain. Great penetration, making Duranzo continue to go wide and allowing 2 or 3 Waterville Purple Panthers to get on Chris Duranzo.
Well, that'll conclude the first quarter here as Chris Duranzo is down on the field being attended to, and we'll take a break and come back and check on his status. The Trojans looking at a 4th down here in a punting situation early in this one. At the end of 1 quarter in Saco, the Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, Thornton Academy nothing, Waterville nothing. We're back after this. Jay Harper, Tony Ryan back with you at Hills Stadium in Saco. No scores. We start the second quarter. Thornton Academy 4th down and looking to punt it away. This time Booten finally gets a good one off. Bay takes it at his 14-yard line and scampers right into traffic. And he's brought down at the 16-yard line.
Excellent job by Dave Booten in 2 respects. Good long kick for Booten. Plus he got plenty of height, which allows his coverage to get down there, so it doesn't allow Waterville's returners to have any room to run the ball back.
Josh Gregoire, excellent coverage there, getting in on the tackle. And Waterville again starts deep inside their own territory. They have yet to start with any field position whatsoever. 22 was where they started their first drive from their own 22, and it's been progressively getting worse for the Panthers. They start at the 16, handoff, Curvin hammered as soon as he took the handoff. I believe it was Darrell Rondo who threw a shoulder in there early along with Grantham. Second down and 8. Justin Allen draws sole coverage to the far side of the field with Ian Gould. And Neto rolls out. He's got all kinds of running room. Trojans fooled, and Neto, as we said before, he can run the football. And he had blocking and no Thornton Academy maroon and gold around anywhere. Gain of 14 yards, gets it out to the 33.
Excellent call by the Waterville Purple Panthers. Gervin already having 6 carries. Thornton expecting him to get the ball again. Quick fake, letting Neto roll to the outside with 2 blockers. No Thornton Academy maroon and gold over there.
Waterville last week, 28-25 winners over Deering. They led 28-0 at the half and then had to hold on as the Rams came roaring back. Pass intended up top, and they say incomplete as Booten levels Kevin Douglas.
Douglas really having to reach behind him to try to make that catch, and Booten nailed him as soon as the ball hit his hands. Excellent job by Dave Booten. Waterville trying to get the quick hit. Changing up their offensive calls to keep Thornton honest.
Second down and 10 now. Gould goes to the far side of the field. Douglas and Bay in slot formations. Handoff up the middle again. And Booten comes flying in along with Mercier, and they just hammer the pile back. And nothing for positive yardage on that play for Waterville. So now looking at a 3rd down and 10.
Another big play for Waterville. Still have not capitalized on their 3rd down opportunities. You really do not want to give Thornton Academy the ball again. Their defense doing an excellent job. I don't think Thornton's going to get the field position they've been getting, but again, they will get the ball.
Motion all to the right. Douglas firing out over the middle, up in the air, picked off. Guess who? Justin Allen with another INT. Do you spell Allen, I-N-T, E-L-L-E-N? I think that's how you spell it. Just drop the A and put an I-N-T in front of it. The ball in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Ever alert Justin Allen. Diving forward, making the pick, and gives Thornton Academy their best field position of the day, and they've had great field position all day long, but it's at the Waterville 40-yard line. 1st down and 10, and let's see if the offense can get it going. Ryan Thompson takes the straight handoff. He gets a couple. Duranzo got up after that shakeup on their last third down attempt, and he's back into the lineup.
Thornton Academy's offensive line, another great push. They are giving Thompson some easy running room to work with, 3 yards before any white jersey hits him.
They appear to be playing much, much better. They've given Duranzo a lot of time when he's thrown the football, and they seem to be blocking a lot better than last week versus Noble. Duranzo now going to run it, cuts up inside, into the secondary, breaks another tackle, and Chris Duranzo gives the Golden Trojans a first down at Waterville's 25-yard line. A gain of 12 yards on the play for Duranzo, and that time Duranzo did like he did a lot last week, started to come up to the line of scrimmage when he didn't have a receiver open and almost panicked a bit, coming too close to the offensive line where he could have gotten grabbed by a defender. He stayed back just long enough to get back outside, found the hole, and then you saw the moves, breaking a couple tackles downfield. First down and 10, double slot formation. Mercia goes in motion. Counter play with Ryan True this time, and that's very solid play as True goes 7 yards down inside the 20-yard line.
That's an excellent play call by Thornton Academy. You fake to Thompson on the left side. Mercier is going left, and just that quick misdirection to True. Waterville expecting Mercier to get the ball in the option. Quick misdirection throws everyone off, and True, before he gets hit, already has 6 yards.
That was an inside handoff, too, on the reverse counter. And Thompson fooling the defense by running motion one way. And then True, boy, great job taking the handoff from Duranzo. And he just pounded right into the secondary. A timeout called by Waterville here as the Golden Trojans have a second down and 3. The ball just inside the 20, almost to the 18-yard line. 8:41 to go here in the second quarter. The Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy nothing, Waterville nothing, but the Trojans on the move. Very small crowd on hand here this afternoon at Hills Stadium in Saco. Dennis Avery, Tony Ryan, Jay Harper along with you as Thornton Academy looks to even their early season mark here at 1-1. And right now, having the better of the contest as of yet, so far, and certainly now with their deepest penetration other than that one possession against Noble last week when they got it down inside and then the interception at the goal line. But Thornton Academy coming off the turnover, Justin Allen providing the interception, giving Thornton the great field position at Waterville's 40. And now the Trojans have run off 3 strong plays in a row. Ricky Sorois comes to the near side. Mercia goes to the far, drawing sole coverage out there. Out of the eye, the Trojans go to Ryan True. True busts up inside, and he'll be very close. True took a little shot, shaken up a little bit. Got hit in the back as he went down. True running very strong here in the early going. He's seeing his hole and he's just going for it. Travis Topham will check in and Gregoire will stay in at tight end, so let's see what kind of formation they'll come with here. They might put Topham in the slot formation for Ryan True. Measurement with the ball right at the 15-yard line. I think the Trojans here would like to see him come up just a little short with third down, 2 cracks at it. Pick up 2 or 3 more yards and get yourself that much closer. And they are just short. So Thornton Academy with a chance for points. They've gone 5 quarters here without scoring so far. And trying to break that here with 3.5 gone by in the second.
Waterville, you know, is going to load that line. They'll bring 9 or 10 guys because they really do not want to give Thornton Academy a first down.
Maybe the old Green Bay Packer Bart Starr call here on 3rd and short. Fake the fullback belly into the hole, and then Duranto up top. You wouldn't think Thornton will take too many chances here, though. They need the first down and keep the things moving on here. Full house backfield. And they go to Thompson off the left side. Thompson powers ball out. It looks like Thornton Academy maintained possession because no Waterville players are jumping up. Oh, dangerous, dangerous play there. Thompson picks up nearly 5 yards, but almost the crucial turnover. And the Trojans now with a first down and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. So the Trojans could possibly pick up a first down here. Big 4 plays right now, and you like to see Thornton Academy staying tough and staying with straightforward offense here. Out of the eye. Pitch out to Ryan True. True cuts inside, takes on, breaks another tackle. Ryan True gives Thornton Academy their first 6 points of the season. And that is some solid running by the big senior tailback.
That was a beautiful play. Tight end goes in, hits the linebacker. Ryan Thompson hits the defensive end, and the hole was massive. And Ryan True, great tough running, getting 11 yards and Thornton Academy's first touchdown of the year.
Boy, you look at that again, and Ryan True, definitely there was a nice hole out there. He spotted the hole and just went for it, but then he just manhandled the would-be tackler and just found his way to the right side of the end zone. And Thornton Academy leads 6-0 with 7:51 to go. In for the extra point is Andrew Tripp, the holder, Duranzo, the quarterback. Oh, Andrew Tripp, hello. Of course, Andrew Tripp, a soccer player, coming over to the football team this season and playing a lot at split end and showing he's got the soccer-style kick down pat, and he nails it through. And the Golden Trojans, with 7:51 to play here in the first half, our Village Inn restaurant scoreboard, Golden Trojans 7, Waterville nothing. You're watching Thornton Academy football on CTV30. Ten-yard run by Ryan True, and Thornton Academy has their first lead and first points of the 1996 season. And Ryan True will kick it off for the Trojans, a booming end-over-end kick. Coming up is Douglas to field it at his 12. Streaking straight forward and gets it out over the 30-yard line, giving the Panthers their best field position of the afternoon.
If you're Waterville, you got to come out and really make a stand right now. Thornton Academy going out there and just manhandling the Waterville front there on that possession. 7:47 remaining in the first half. Waterville would like to melt some clock. If not get a touchdown or field goal, at least sustain a drive and get some yardage.
Now it's the defense, definitely. They have to answer back with a hold here and get the ball back in the offense and see if they can do it again. Douglas, though, on a counter, slips up a bit, but able to still stay perpendicular and get forward for about 5-6 yards. Nice job running there by Douglas, and the mist has started to fall here at Hill Stadium and was rain-free for most of this contest, but now again a light rain falling here, and that'll make it a little bit tougher for both offenses. Of course, coming into this game, we figured the wet field favored Waterville, the bigger, stronger team, but now with the Trojans leading 7-0, it might really hurt Waterville as well. Douglas scrambling, comes forward, gets a couple of yards. Neto brought down out there by Brian Thompson.
This could be the biggest play so far in this contest. Waterville doesn't get a first down to give Thornton Academy the ball. But should be relatively good field position with probably 6 minutes to go. With Thornton Academy's offense could easily score with that type of field position.
Third and a long one, the ball at the 40-yard line. Saw some movement, flag is down, and it's a good thing for the Trojans because Curvin was about one step away from breaking that thing, but I believe it'll come back. 5-yard penalty against Waterville. They were moving forward before the snap. So again, that big penalty that has hurt both clubs in the early going, stopping Thornton Academy's first possession and then doing the same to the Panthers and pretty much setting the tone for Waterville here today, keeping them pinned in their own territory for the entire first half here as they've gotten out to their farthest advancement so far, but now the 5-yard penalty brings up a 3rd down and 6. The ball at their own 35-yard line. And they come out with a power formation here. Now they split it out with Ben LaPlante coming to the near side. Mercia picks him up. Counter, Neto looking to run. Nothing. Great job coming from behind. Heidish and Dave Booten coming up from his linebacker slot. They sandwich Eric Neto for a loss of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 10 and punting situation. The Golden Trojans getting the help of the big penalty, and certainly that time they were ready for Eric Neto.
Waterville getting another damaging penalty when they really needed a 1st down. Puts them back, and I'll give Thornton Academy the ball in really good field position.
It should. Kick. Mercia stands at his 35, fields it cleanly, gets a nice block out there, springs outside. Oh, flag comes in, and this will be against the Golden Trojans. And again, I don't know about that flag. If it was the block I saw, it looked like the clip was about to happen, and Thornton player held off and didn't block. So we'll have to check this one. But Mercier again making it happen. It was a great block out on the outside. It is clipping on Thornton, and I really, if it looked like to be the block was about to happen, and it didn't. And there may have been something a little bit before that, but the Trojans will have negated their excellent return.
The one thing I have noticed about Waterville's kicking is the fact that when he does boot the ball, he almost outkicks his coverage. By the time any Waterville Purple Panthers near Chris Mercer, he's got the ball and run 10 yards. You want to get a little more height on the ball, allow your team to get down there and make the play.
And where they threw that flag is where they marked it off from. That was the block I saw, and I don't agree with that call. It looked like Thornton Academy player was about to clip the Waterville player in the back, and he held off on his block. So Thornton Academy now, instead of great field position out of midfield once again, start back at their own 29-yard line. Not the worst of field positions, but certainly not what the Golden Trojan offense would have liked to see. Eric Doyon comes to the near side of the field. Double slot formation, again with True. Hand off Thompson. Thompson gets forward for about 4.
Thornton Academy now with just about 5 minutes to go would like to march the length of the field, score, and not give Waterville any time to come back. Neto, a very good passer. And, of course, Waterville getting the ball in the second half. You really don't want to give Waterville any chance at the end of this half.
Mercia comes to the near side. Ricky Soroyce goes to the far. I formation with True and Thompson. Ryan True up the middle, breaks a tackle, pulling defenders. True doing a great job at running, really. Not willing to go down easily, and he picks up 5 yards there and will give Thornton a very short 3rd down play here, 3rd down and 1.
True dragging Waterville Purple Panther after Purple Panther with him and leaning forward. Very big kid. He gets another 2 yards, and now it's a very short 3rd.
Well said, Tony. How many Purple Panthers after Purple Panthers can you call off there? 3rd down and 1. Trojans with a split backfield, True and Thompson. Left side, it's Thompson. And Thompson should have just enough. Let's give the offensive line some credit. Great improvement from last week. Travis Roy, Jim Bouffard, Daryl Rondo, and Noel Heidish, Jason Grantham. And the ball spotted right at the 40. So Thornton Academy with 3 plays and 10 yards, using both Thompson and True, and keeping it true to their tradition, coming out of the eye. This time they go to the split backfield with double slot formation. Mercia comes in motion this way. Fires out, got Mercia. Mercia breaks the tackle, look out, 1 man to beat. Chris Mercia down the sideline. Brought down at the 18-yard line, a great tackle out there. Coming all the way from the other side of the field is Chad Hart. And what a super play right there. And the Trojans got the good block on the outside. I don't know if it was Andrew Tripp or it was Ricky Soroyce, who, I think it was Soroyce who provided that good block from his split end position downfield and sprung Chris Mercier. Gain of 42 yards on the play. So the Trojans right back in business, and we finally see Mercier. And a good job, Duranzo, getting the ball to him quickly and just letting the little scat back do his magic. Ooh, Thompson that time just pounded inside the middle. I think he ran right into big number 79, Danny Giles, and that can certainly hurt because Giles 6'8", 320.
Going back to that previous play, that's an excellent formation, running Mercier in motion, having Durso take one step back and just throw it out there and let Mercier catch the ball and do his thing. Let him juke out defenders and get that yardage, which he's very good at doing.
2nd down and 10. No gain on the last play. Duranzo fumbles the snap. It's loose, and a great job. That is it squirted off to the left. I believe Brian Thompson able to get back on it. So it'll be a loss of about a half yard. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Trojans in that 4-down territory. Also, though, you saw the foot of Andrew Tripp. And let's not count out a field goal attempt here. If the Trojans get maybe 4 yards, 5 yards, they could certainly try that leg.
The only problem with trying a field goal in this weather, his plant foot might slip under. If this were a dry field, that'd be an excellent call. But with a wet field, you really can't judge the conditions on the field.
Doyon comes to the near side. It's Tripp to the far. 3rd and 11, Duranzo to throw. Has time, now steps up into the pocket, going forward, and he gets about 5 yards back. He'll be down at the 16-yard line. And Duranzo asks for a timeout with 1:47 to play here in the first half. And Thornton Academy will be looking at a 4th down, and it looks like 7 yards. So again, a big play or a potential field goal attempt. We'll see what the Golden Trojans have in store. Coach Gresty coming out on the field. And talking about this game earlier on, of course, Thornton Academy last year losing a tough game up in Waterville, a game that they could have easily won. Turnover late in that contest and a couple of pivotal penalties called by the Eastern officials that were very, very suspect on Thornton Academy. Kept a couple of drives alive for Waterville, allowed them to go on to the W. Thornton Academy this year at 0-1, losing that game last week to Noble. You go 0-2 with, again, some good teams out there this year, and there's a lot of teams hovering around the same thing, looking to really step up and prove themselves to be a little bit superior than the rest of the league. But Bonnie Eagle won their first game over Sanford. You see Sanford beating Coney last night. We know Sanford's improved, and certainly you got Marshwood this year, who is a formidable team once again in Western A. They got themselves back in a definite contender. And you got those 3 teams, Bonnie Eagle, Marshwood, and Sanford, coming up. You go 0-2, and you're really struggling. But if you beat a Waterville here today, Waterville picked to be one of the best Eastern teams. It was Bangor, Lawrence, and Waterville in Eastern A's. But if you beat them, what that'll do for your confidence. And here we see it is Andrew Tripp in for the field goal attempt. They'll spot it at the 23-yard line. It'll be a 33-yard attempt for the senior. Good snap, good hold, booming kick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to like this. And Andrew Tripp producing in a big way. And the Trojans take the 10-0 lead here with 1:47 to go. And, wow, what an addition this senior has brought to the team. And certainly you have to wonder the soccer team feeling the loss of Andrew Tripp. But, boy, right there, we speculated potential and no problems. 33-yarder, just boom, through the post. And our Village Inn restaurant scoreboard with 1:47 to play here in the first half. Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 10, Waterville nothing.
Going back to what you said earlier about Thornton Academy not really wanting to go to 0-2, Western Maine's had a lot of parity this year, and Southern Division of it is, of course, I've gone to 2 divisions, really very strong with all 7 teams, could easily make the playoffs.
True, another good end-over-end kick, fielded at the 12-yard line. This time it's Bay. Bay trying to cut out, and he almost found himself a little running room. Tripped up and brought down at the 33-yard line. So now 1:40 to go. Golden Trojans up 10, and Waterville now will have to be concerned with the time and get things moving here. May have to go on top if they want to try to get some points on the board before this one's over. just a great feature to see. We've talked about that, I think, last week. It'd be nice to see field goals a part of high school football. And, of course, Biddeford has been privy to having that for a number of years now with the Choi's over there. And Thornton Academy now will have that in the 96 season. Flag down on the play, and a big gain out there for Stefan Curvin. It's either offsides or a potential holding call up the middle, the way that flag came flying in from the potential chop block, the way it's initially. It is blocking, chop block against the Panthers. So Thornton Academy again now will maybe thinking about using some of their own timeouts here and trying to get the ball back one more time. This will set Waterville way back. And also with a win today, if Thornton Academy can continue this strong performance so far, the confidence that will come from this victory will be tremendous, because the fact that Waterville is picked to be one of the better teams up there, and you beat a good team, it puts you right back in the thick of things. And again, we talked last week, of course you were down there with us, Tony, and the fact that Thornton didn't have that final scrimmage. They were supposed to play Chevrolet bags out the last minute, not enough players. And that really hurt Thornton Academy. They needed that game tune-up, and it showed in that contest. So, you know, that could be a big, big factor for this young team, not having that game. And now certainly starting to show that they are capable of putting some points up and doing some nice things. First down and 25 now for Waterville. Handoff up the middle, and Bouffard right there to smother that play. Big Jim Bouffard, along with Jason Grantham again out there on the outside. Grantham having a whale of a game defensively here for Thornton Academy.
Waterville very content just to run out the clock, go into halftime down 10-0, come out with the ball in the second half, see what you can get with some type of field position. Again, as you were saying, Jay, big win if Thornton can beat Waterville, because Waterville, again, year after year is predicted to be one of the better teams up in Eastern Class A.
Lawrence was the pick by a lot of people, but we've seen Bangor so far, and I've talked to some people who have seen them play. They are super. Fumble! The Trojans get a turnover before the half.
Excellent job by Thornton Academy. They are getting the breaks. Reminds me of Biddeford last week, 25 seconds to go, and Oxford Hills having to run out the clock. Could not get it done. And Waterville, same fate is going to happen to them. This is big. This is very big. If Thornton can go up 17-0 at the half, Waterville's in very big trouble.
First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Duranzo brings them out. Slot formation looking on top. Duranzo rolling out, and now he'll get brought down pretty hard. Gets forward for a gain of 1. Timeout on the field used by Thornton Academy with 35 seconds to go. And going back to that fumble recovery, again, it was a straight handoff up the middle, and the tackler, boom, hammered the fullback as soon as he got the ball. Ball popped out, and we believe it was Kevin Duras, who was initially listed in our early program as number 34. He may have taken a lineman's number now and working in the defensive line, and number 62 is Kevin Duras. He's played a lot here defensively for Thornton Academy and done a nice job, and able to finally figure out who that is, the mystery number 62, Duras, and a fumble recovery, another turnover in Thornton Academy. Again, you're looking right here, you're inside the 20, right? 35 seconds, they're in field goal range, so 3 points, a very big possibility here. And that's just something that, as a coach, what a great thing to have, because you don't have to panic and go for everything here. You just keep staying with your good, solid offense, looking to get yards forward. If something springs and happens, you get 6. Obviously, you want 6, but if you don't, you got the right leg of Andrew Tripp and a possible 3. And, I mean, that puts Waterville down basically 2 touchdowns, and they need to convert both extra points to come back from this one. So a big 3 points and a big luxury here for Thornton Academy.
It's very big, especially near the end of ball games. If you could have a field goal kicker who can get out there, kick the 35 to 40-yard field goal, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to knock that offensive line back so they cannot get into field goal range. And with that, the defense takes a lot of chances. If you're the offense, you can really use that to your advantage and try and throw the ball up in the air, usually getting single coverage on a lot of the wide receivers.
Second down and 8. Again, 35 seconds to play here in the first half. Doyon comes to the near side. It's Ricky Sorois to the far. Again, that double slot formation. And it's Thompson. Big hole off the left side. Has to avoid the referee. And he gets down to the 10-yard line. And he'll be very close to a Thornton Academy first down. And if the official wasn't there, that may have been 6 points for the Golden Trojans. Clock will restart as soon as they set the chains. Thornton Academy all set and ready to go. Well coached, the 2-minute offense in motion here. Taranto takes it, slams it down. Stops the clock with 28 seconds, so the Trojans very good there, only using 1 second. And they'll have 3 plays here to try to get in if they can manage the clock. Of course, the clock management, very big here. Thornton Academy doing a great job on that play right there.
Thornton Academy probably will try to go to the air on this type of possession. I think they are out of timeouts. And if you run the ball, unless you get a touch on the clock will not stop because the ball is on the 10-yard line. So it would have to be a quick set. And if you run here, you throw it down on third, now it's 4th down. You only have 1 play left.
Duranto's got to try to roll right here and get outside. And again, he's got to be careful not to be sacked. Delay of game. That's just very, very weird. Because the plays have all been pretty much coming off one after another the same fashion, and all of a sudden, and they reset the clock in an awful hurry after Duranto spiked it is my only explanation for that. So now it's 2nd down and 15. Soroyce to the near side. He's drawing sole coverage out here. Pitch comes to True. True setting up, got him open. Get the ball there in time. Soroyce, touchdown. Oh, the official started to say no, then he said yes. And Ryan True now converts on a 15-yard touchdown strike. And True did a great job at faking like he was running and then standing up straight. He may have waited just a split second too long, but 6 points is on the board. And Ricky Soroyce, the junior, hauls it in the back of the end zone. And the official started to rule him out and said 1 foot was in. And Thornton Academy comes away big here at the end of the first half, collecting an extra potential 10 points here as Tripp will get set to do it again. Bang. That's impressive.
Excellent call by Thornton Academy again. You've run to the outside. Your offensive line is pushing back Waterville. You're going to get those opportunities to really fake out Waterville. And again, Dick Agresti pulling out of the bag of tricks. Little pitch to Ryan True. Then Ricky Soroyce doing a great job. I don't know if you noticed, Jay, but he did a great job on that fake block. And when the cornerback came in after True, he just went to the corner of the end zone. True, an excellent throw. And now throwing up 17-0 in this rain. I don't know how much Waterville's going to be able to throw the ball in the second half. But the Purple Panthers must be morally destroyed at this point, expecting to only be down 7-0. And within the last 65, 70 seconds, Thornton County putting up 10 points.
Exactly that. Ryan True will do the kicking. And a little bounding kick, a dangerous one, and fielded. And Curvin. Oh, that's going to be 15. Dave Booten not thinking there, and he just came in and hammered Curvin. Once you're down, you're down. You don't need to do that hit. And that'll mark off 15 yards, so it does give 19 seconds and Waterville an opportunity here.
The penalty will be from the spot of the foul. Waterville, the ball on the 48. If you can get a quick throw here of about, with 19 seconds, 3 plays is definitely in the books for Waterville, and Neto's an excellent throwing quarterback.
Over the years, Waterville's always had a pretty good place kicker themselves. I'm not sure what they have this season, but ball up in the air, potential pick, it is! Batted back and forth, and Travis Thompson comes up with the INT, and the Trojans, with only 13 seconds, can still say, hey, another turnover, we got the ball, we can sit back now and maybe air it out 1 time, 2 times, or just take that 17-point lead into the locker room and feel happy with that. Travis Topham on the interception. Again, Thornton Academy doing a good job on that tip drill. Once that ball's tipped, they're all over that football, and that comes from great coaching, and I know Thornton Academy uses that drill, as a lot of schools do, the tip drill, and it's a fun drill to work in practice. I know as a DB, former safety and whatever, and a receiver, you love that drill. It's a lot of fun. Tip the ball up and go after it. Duranta will air it out one time. Fakes. Getting outside. Can he unload? And he just throws it away as he's thrown to the turf, and a flag comes in. And that's a foolish call right there. He called intentional grounding, I believe, by the outside receiver. You throw the ball 30 yards down the field, I don't know how you get an intentional grounding.
I can see that call if you're trying to rule from coverage and all of a sudden, look at some open grass and just kind of throw it onto the stands. But Mercer was going downfield. That could have easily just been a mistimed route or something.
Exactly.
If you throw I agree with you, Jay. If you throw the ball 30 yards.
And it's in field. You didn't throw it out of bounds 30 yards. You threw it down the field 30 yards. That's a pretty tough one to buy here. But with 6 seconds left, Thornton Academy can just run the last play and take a knee and head to the locker room up 17-0 and be quite pleased with the turnaround here offensively and defensively. What a difference 1 week makes. Duranta will take the knee, and Thornton Academy will head to the locker room. Our Village Inn restaurant halftime scoreboard. Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 17, Waterville Purple Panthers nothing. We'll take a break. Back with our halftime right after this. I'll let you do the stats, okay?
All right.
Welcome back to Dr. Paul S. Hill Stadium here in Saco. Gray, rainy Saturday afternoon, but the Trojans are reigning heavily over the Waterville Panthers, leading 17-0. Looking at our first half stats, Tony, Thornton Academy really turning it around from last week. It's like night and day, and of course last week under the lights at night, this afternoon here. Really playing much better. Thornton Academy has struggled under the lights over the last few years, and I think it does factor into their psyche just a bit. But the Trojans, their stats here, very impressive in the first half.
Oh, they were very impressive. Ryan True had 38 yards rushing, and Thompson had 32 yards rushing. And total, they had 86 yards rushing. Their rushing yards in the first half were more than their total yards in the entire game last week. Very key for them against Waterville today. Of course, Ryan True having the 15-yard pass to Ricky Royce at the end of the half. And Duranzo, that 42-yard pass to Chris Mercier. They had 143 yards total, very key, and they also scored 17 points in the half. And then Thornton's defense just doing a great job, only holding Waterville to 46 yards total, 40 of them on the ground. Waterville's really got to change that because Neto only had 6 yards passing on one completion. That's very key for Thornton Academy that they hold him to what he had in the first half. If Neto starts getting warm and then hot in the second half, he gets 9 or 10 completions. He's the type of quarterback that is a very good quarterback that can throw. Thornton Academy's secondary will be tested.
And, of course, Thornton Academy's secondary haven't talked too much about, except the fact Justin Allen, certainly the great interception DB that he is. Last year, I think he had 6 in the season, and already this season he has 2. And he's just a great cornerback. And, of course, you throw Chris Mercier and Josh Farron now, the junior, stepping into that safety position. He showed a lot of heart here this afternoon, coming up with run support and, of course, doing a good job at just holding things down. They have one of the better secondaries that Thornton has seen in a lot of years. And, of course, Thornton has had some good secondaries. But this one right here, a very good one. You got cornerbacks who have played 2 years and have shown themselves. And they got a lot of speed back there. So Thornton Academy looking good in that department. And then your linebackers right across the defensive core, of course, with Thompson and Roy, 2-year starters as well. They anchor the middle. Dave Booten, his second season at outside linebacker, and Travis Topham, who has the other interception for Thornton Academy, showing he is a very heads-up outside linebacker and doing a nice job out there. And then Thornton Academy's defensive front has really been bolstered today by a couple of key players. Jason Grantham, outstanding in that first half. Heidish and Rondo, steady. Jim Bouffard playing a lot there, doing a nice job as well. And, of course, Bouffard played a lot there last season. And Ryan True, the other defensive end, has played well. And then you bring in a Kevin Duras, who has a fumble recovery. And he's changed from number 34 last week to 62 to come in and help the line. And defensively, moving from linebacker to a down tackle, has done a great job. And, of course, you might like to see Duras, probably they're working him at offensive line to try to give some help there at a very, not a very deep offensive line core for head coach Aggressive, but then you go to that offensive line and what a job they've done in the first half. Chris Duranzo has had all kinds of time back there when he's wanted to throw, and on that last play where we saw True have plenty of time too, and a good ball fake as well by True setting that up. And a very close call in the back of the end zone with Sorois, whether he got that foot in or not, but nonetheless, the Trojans get the break and have the 17 points, and you couldn't ask for a better half from Thornton Academy. And again, a lot of things looking very good, and as we said earlier, night and day from last week, and it looks like two different teams out there, and the confidence is starting to show, and Duranzo's had himself a good half at quarterback, scrambled for a couple of good runs, and he's found Chris Mercia one time. I think that's a play we'd like to see run a few more times, is just get Mercia the ball on the outside, and then you got one block or two defenders, and let Mercia see what he can do.
That's very key for Thornton Academy. Chris Mercer, a tremendous athlete. The height that he lacks, he makes up with speed, quickness, and intelligence on the football field. You give him the ball one-on-one with any defensive back, I believe, in this state, and he can beat him. Waterville definitely has to start keying both on the running game and the passing attack for Thornton Academy. I'd make Thornton Academy throw the ball, especially in this driving rain.
Well, it's certainly going to be a big factor here on the first possession. The Golden Trojans don't want to give up any points. They want to make Waterville wait a long time before, if ever, giving up points. The ball comes off the pads of Douglas, scoops it up, and bang! A hit by Craig Lebrecht. Wow. And Lebrecht, a linebacker and fullback, and we expected to see him somewhat in the backfield last week. We didn't, and so far we have yet to see him featured in the fullback position, but they just say great things about this young man, a tough, hard-nosed kid who can really play this game. And Lebrecht is a 5'5", 155-pound junior, but he's one of those little fire plugs like a George Samaras type from years ago for Thornton Academy. First down handoff, Curvin gets good yardage for the Panthers.
Waterville has to come out and really sustain a long drive, 3-4 first downs. They go 3 and out, and Thornton Academy is looking at both great field position and a dejected Waterville defense.
Yeah, momentum a key here in the second half. Eric Neto, the quarterback. Counter with Douglas, trying to get outside. Got some running room, and it closes up nicely as the secondary coming up with good run support. Farron, Allen and Farron, of course, that left side, the safety and cornerback, come up to make the tackle. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 now for Waterville.
It looked like the hole was open on the right side. Farron coming right up from his safety position, hitting Douglas, and surprisingly, I thought they'd go to Douglas a lot more often. He looked very good during warm-ups, kind of shying away from going with that power inside.
Thornton Academy with the defense up close, and the handoff quick up the middle, and they pop it through for a gain of about 5 and a first down. And that time, again, it's Stefan Curvin, and he's not the big bruising fullback, but he does have some power, and he's got good quickness through the line. He popped right through that hole in a hurry. As the Trojans were stunting, they were bringing the house.
Excellent call by Waterville. You expect Thornton Academy to bring just about everyone. It was only 2 yards for the first down. And the quick hitter and gained 6 yards on the first down.
Counter. Douglas stood up and mauled to the ground again. Kevin Duras, Josh Farron also in on the stop for the Golden Trojans. A gain of only a yard on the play.
Douglas not following his pulling guard on that play. Tried to cut back inside right into the Thornton defense. You just can't do that against any team, especially the presence of the Thornton Academy linebackers.
2nd down and 9 for the Panthers. Handoff up the middle and nothing. Trojan defensive front is fired up. Bouffard, Thompson, and Duras all in on the stop for the Golden Trojans. So that'll bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 8. The ball just over the 40-yard line. Panthers have to get to the 49 to pick up the first down. They send Ian Gould out to the far side of the field. Dave Booton going out there to pick him up. Justin Allen leaning that way, and they're looking out for him. Fire out in the flat. They got him wide open. And Allen does a nice job at getting in late and taking out the ankles. And zone coverage that time, and I'm kind of surprised the Trojans went with that. Gould had an easy job. Booton let him go. He went up the field about 7 yards. Booton let him go, and Allen was too far away to get there to pick him up in the deep zone. And a first down for the Panthers, and that's something, as you just mentioned moments ago, Tony, you don't want to get Eric Nettle's confidence up in the passing game because he is a dangerous passer. He's yet to showcase that feature in his offensive weaponry. First and 10, Douglas trying to get outside, and he's going nowhere. Travis topples Douglas for a loss of about 3 on the play.
Going back to that previous play, I like the call at Thornton Academy. Dale going to the zone defense, but you cannot allow the wide receiver to be untouched for the first 5 yards. You really have to try and bump him early and hold him, not allow him to break cleanly. When you allow him to do that and you have his own defense, he can just pick his spot out there and anchor himself for the pass.
The ball at the Trojans' 49. We must make note, Waterville's first penetration into Trojan territory. Netto to throw, going down the field. Out there, Josh Barrett with a pick. Slips down, but the Trojans will take over. A great play by Farron. He was slipping, and he got up high, planted himself, and able to keep his feet to make the interception. And then as he started forward, fell down on one knee. But that's the 3rd interception of the day for Thornton Academy. And Josh Farron, that's something that Thornton Academy has to like back there at safety. He's a big kid. Goes at 6'1", and certainly the height working to his favor there. He's able to get up high and make the interception. Farron listed at 6', 170, and Thornton Academy gets it back. And Brian Thompson, the handoff, and nothing going on there. Danny Giles, number 79, and also number 62 for the Panthers in on the stop. That'd be Richie Lefebvre. 2nd and 11 now for Thornton Academy. And again, they had Mercier coming in motion that time and not really picked up. And again, you'd like to see that quick little out, even if it's a lateral of sorts. Just get Mercier the ball on the outside and spring him. Andrew Tripp comes to the near side. Soroyce to the far. Thompson gets hit twice and 3 times, and still he's at the line of scrimmage. Waterville's defense playing inspired here in the first 2 plays. It's Conforth that time in on the stop.
Waterville is one of those good teams, and you can't hold good teams down forever. I'm sure they pumped themselves up during that halftime, saying we got to get going. You know, they really did not play well in the first half. Defensively, they looked really shaky on a lot of the defensive calls. I think they're going to come out and see if they can try and make a statement, get their offense the ball back, and give some confidence to both the offense and the defense.
Mercier goes in motion the other way. They counter back with this way. Gets a block. Gets another block. Mercier trying to get outside and cuts inside and stumbles down. Covered up nicely out in the flat by number 17, Anthony Libby. Good game for the Trojans, but it won't be enough. And that's a play Thornton used a few times last year. Mercier in motion. He stops and comes back the other way, and he got some nice blocks out there.
Excellent blocks. And the thing with that play, you can have Thompson True go to the left side, take out the right side of Waterville's defensive line, and then you pull your left side of your line into that hole.
Booton taking way too much time. He should have had that block, but he doesn't get it blocked. And there's Chris Mercier coming in on Douglas and taking him down as soon as he catches the football. And Waterville will start at their own 32-yard line. Dave Booton taking a lot of time back there, and he's going to have one blocked if he continues that type of exit on his kicking, because a high snap certainly got to regroup, but you got to see that defender coming in. There wasn't even that much of a punt rush, but all of a sudden there's a guy in your face, and he still got the football, and he just barely got it off. Waterville with his second possession. Up the middle, big hole, and boy, Again, Stefan Curvin just one tackle away from breaking it. Duras and Mercier make the tackle for the Trojans.
Thornton putting 6 or 7 guys down on the line. They're going to try and extend that defensive line out so you can hold Douglas on the outside. Make Waterville have to run up the middle. Something Waterville does not really want to do. They want to counter with that outside game, see if they can get some big plays with it.
2nd and 2 now. Split backfield. Gould to the far side. Now Bay comes in motion. Fumble snap. And the Trojans, I think they got it. And it looks like Duras one more time. Kevin Duras, maybe one of those kids who just has a nose for the football. The football likes that number. And he comes up with his 2nd fumble recovery of the afternoon. And Waterville self-destructing here. Now their 5th turnover of the afternoon. And all coaches know that turnovers like that are just something you cannot live with and still expect to win in high school football or any kind of football for that matter. Durant looking on top on 1st down. Fires out for Mercier. A little behind him, and Mercier diving. Can't make the catch.
Excellent job by Thornton for Waterville, their left defensive end, getting his hands up, making Duranto have to throw behind Mercier. But again, as you said, Jay, 5 turnovers. You're not going to win many football games with 5 turnovers. I don't care if you're playing Thornton Academy all the way down to Mountain Blue. You're just not going to beat teams if you have 5 turnovers.
2nd down and 10. Thornton Academy with the ball at Waterville's 40. Fumble for the Trojans. They give it right back. And their ball maintenance has been excellent today, but not on that play. I believe that's Matt Bunnell on the recovery for the Panthers. And that'll bring up a 1st down and 10 for Waterville. The ball handed right back at the 40-yard line. So Thornton has done a nice job with ball maintenance. That time they put it on the grass, and Waterville has the turnover, and see if they can capitalize. Fumble again. The Trojans try to pick it up. They do. Jason Grantham scoops and scampers for the touchdown. What a great play by the defensive end. Grantham able to come in, pick up the loose ball, and then it was just turf time. Touchdown.
Number 6. Well, Biddeford had 6 turnovers last week against Oxford Hills. They won the game very luckily. I don't know if Waterville's going to have the same success. You just can't put the ball on the ground that many times and expect to win the football game. It sounds like a broken record, but it's the truth. And 6 turnovers, that's going to kill you in the end of the game.
Topham and Grantham both closing in on the football. Grantham got there first and just stopped his whole momentum. He did a great job, able to stop and start and get it going again as Andrew Tripp continues his perfect afternoon. And Thornton Academy now has built a 24-point lead. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Golden Trojans 24, Purple Panthers 0. We'll take a pause for the cause. Back after this. Jay Harper along with Tony Ryan. Thornton Academy coming with another turnover and picking up another 7 points. Now lead 24-0 as Ryan True again sends Douglas back to his own 10. Douglas looking for the hole, gets hammered, spins his way out, gets it out over the 30-yard line. Again, excellent coverage by the Golden Trojans. And on the stop for Thornton Academy, Corey Gray along with Craig Lebrecht.
Well, Waterville has to go to the air now. You're down 24-0 with 16 minutes to go in this contest. It's time to put the ball in the air and see what happens. Yeah, you might throw an interception 2 or 3, but running the ball is just not going to get it down on this type of wet turf.
Waterville looking at the exact opposite of last week. They led 28-0 at the half and had to hold on for a 28-25 victory. Now they got to do the opposite, try to come back, and there's linebacking help right there. Mercier in with help, but some big sticks from Farron, Mercier, and Tim Harder, number 84, into the lineup for the Trojans, and he was in on that stick as well. Second and 9 now for Waterville. They hand off, a nice ball fake by Neto. It goes to Adam Bay, and he picks up maybe 4 yards on the play. It'll still bring up a third and about 4 yards for the first down. And Waterville still deep inside Thornton Academy's territory, and their coach Frank Knight would have to take a big gamble to go for it inside Thornton's territory, although at this point of the contest, it's time to make or break, and if you're going to have any chance at getting back, you need some points in a hurry. 3rd and 4. The Trojans bring the defensive front up, put 6 men across the line. The backer's only about 2 yards off. And out to the outside. Nice move out there, Neto. Great ball fake. And he gets about 9 yards on the play, almost out to midfield. And we said Neto, a crafty quarterback who can certainly run the football, and he's showing his ability there, and he may be their best back carrying the football. I'd keep going with the ball fakes and keep trying to get him outside.
Waterville, again, a very good play call, but the clock continues to run, and the only problem with these plays, you're not getting a lot of yardage. It takes a lot of time off the clock, the clock continuing to run. Thornton's in the driver's seat right now.
First down and 10. They go to Curvin. Josh Farron again up on the stop, and really like what Farron's doing out of his safety position. He's really looking for run first, and he's coming up and doing a great job as a safety and getting in there and putting a helmet in on a lot of tackles here this afternoon. Good pickup for the Panthers, but as you said, of course, time is a factor here. Under 3 minutes of play in the third quarter. Big stick again as Curvin meets a couple of friendly folks, and Travis Roy and Brian Thompson and Dave Booton. A trio of seniors hammer home the stop, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and just about 5 yards. The ball at the 45 of Thornton Academy. You would think Waterville now in that 4-down territory, because you really can't put the ball back into the offensive hands of Thornton. Neto with a pitch outside. I think we had a late flag coming in, and Douglas scampers out of bounds at about the 42. It'd be well within the range for Waterville to go for it on 4th down, but the flag is down. We may have motion against the Panthers. Once again, it is. So a big offside penalty on 3rd down. The second time this has happened to Waterville here this afternoon, and it certainly doesn't bode well for them.
The penalties Waterville continues to get are not of the kind that are in 1st and 5. They're the ones that are on 3rd and 4. And now all of a sudden, instead of being a short 3rd down, it's a long 3rd down. They got to go to the air.
So it brings it back to midfield. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 9. .205 here to go. Now in the third quarter. 2 receivers to the far side. Slot left. Lone back. Now we got motion this way, but Neto rolls right. Plenty of time. Looks up, but he likes to run. See, now this time, he doesn't do his team much justice there, because he decided to run well before he needed to, and he was thinking exclusively run, it looked like, on that play. He only gets a couple of yards, and now it'll be 4th and long, and Frank Knight with the ball just inside the Thornton 50, seemingly sending out the punting unit. And Thornton has to be ready here for any fake punt of any sorts, because, again, Waterville now almost in do-or-die time of this contest. It is a fake. The snap up, and Curvin trying to get outside. He breaks a tackle, and look at him go. Very, very surprised that Thornton Academy was not ready for that. I mean, you have to know that a team is just about at its beckoning call here where the lights and the fat lady are both about ready to sing. And a quick snap to Curvin, and no one there for Thornton Academy, and he rambles off 22 yards and gets the Panthers their deepest field position of the afternoon and keeps the drive alive.
That was almost a predictable call. If anyone in Thornton had realized, Curvin had his hands up from the time he went into the calling position. He was waiting for the ball to be snapped to him. And, of course, he gets 22 yards and a first down.
Curvin again, big hole. And Thornton now a little bit tired out there, it looks like, defensively. And again, a minute 11 to go in the third. A whole fourth quarter to go. You're up 24 points. It would take a heck of a performance for Waterville to come back on this one. But if they do score here, it still does put them in a position where they could potentially do exactly that. So Thornton Academy had their opportunity right there to shut it down and put this one in the W column and give a lot of hard-working players a chance to shine on this afternoon. But instead, they got to stay alive here and keep it going. Counter to the outside, good move inside. Thornton does a nice job at covering up, and Travis Roy and David Booton right there. Roy ripping the jersey off Bay, who now has become numberless from the back. But still a third down and short. The clock moves under 20 seconds in the third as Kevin Duras replaces Brian Thompson. Offsides again. Waterville self-destructing on that third down crucial play. And this is not a Frank Knight coach team from years past. They are really, really killing themselves with the mental mistakes.
Those are plays that if you're a coach, you really start pulling your hair out because they're mental mistakes. I mean, just jumping off, you know what the count is, you jump off a count before that. You know, those are things that are part of an undisciplined team. Waterville, normally a very disciplined team. And, again, another hurting penalty. 3rd and 1, and now it's 3rd and 6. It's a whole different play call. Instead of being able to run the ball and maybe getting the first down, you might have to think of going back to the air.
That should end the third quarter here as they start the clock, and Waterville will not be able to get another play off. So, after 3 quarters in Saco, the Golden Trojans leading 24-0. And an excellent first half, but Waterville trying to stay in this one. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, Thornton Academy 24, Waterville nothing. We're back with the fourth quarter right after this. Back at Hill Stadium, you get a look at Thornton Academy's cheerleading squad, the 1996 version. And liking what they've seen so far through 3 quarters. The Golden Trojans pitching a shutout, and right now, defensively being asked to come up big. 3rd down and 7, we'll call it. The ball at the 25 of Thornton Academy. And Waterville now obviously in the 4-down, do-or-die situation. So the Trojans need 2 big plays here. And Waterville having turned the ball over 6 times here this afternoon. 3 fumbles, 3 interceptions. And Thornton Academy has capitalized with 17 points coming off those turnovers. Actually, I think all 24, if you really think about it. The first touchdown came after a turnover. Thornton took over at the 40 and marched in 6 plays into the end zone. Neto rolls right, looks to run, cuts up inside, and a sea of Thornton jerseys come up to meet him just shy of the 20-yard line, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 2. So Neto again, that's that old Pee Wee football play that I used to run. I go back about, oh boy, 25 years or so. We had 4 plays. It was the first year of Pee Wee football in the city of Saco, and we had 4 plays. Harper right, Harper left, and David Gay right, David Gay left. He was the tailback. I'd pitch it out to him, and then when we did pass, being the fact that I was only about 4'10" at the time, I'd pitch it to him, and he'd throw it from the tailback slot. But we're pretty successful with those plays. Official timeout, equipment problem with Thompson's helmet. He had to come off the field just prior because of a helmet situation. 4th down, and where they spot the ball, it looks like a long 3, and we were about to call it 2, so play here of the afternoon. The Trojans, if they can stop right here, can pretty much put themselves in the cruise control position and pretty much start their way to the victory bell here at Thornton Academy's impressive campus. Looking forward to the big ceremonies here coming up this season with the new science building opening up. We had motion, and I don't know. Giles stood up himself. So it could be on Waterville, but they might say it was Thornton Academy first. They do.
That's a very gutsy call by Waterville. Hard count Thornton Academy. They probably use the same canes all afternoon. See if we can hard count them, see if we can draw them off. It works. I'll tell you, Waterville's using every trick they have to see if they can get back into this football game.
Very fortunate for Waterville because their big right tackle, Danny Giles, he stood up and almost having the call go against rather than for. It gives Waterville a first down and keeps them alive. Counter with Douglas. Thornton Academy stuffing it right at the line of scrimmage. Thompson, Topham, and Jim Bouffard all on the stop for the Golden Trojans. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a second down and 10.
Waterville continuing to try and run the ball. I don't know how effective they've been today. But this is, I mean, they really have to start thinking about throwing the ball in the air because Thornton Academy is just holding that offensive line and pushing them way back.
But they have had some success, especially on this drive, in the last drive, running the football. Again, motion, and it's Douglas again causing it. The ball thrown up, might be picked off. Thornton Academy can take this one and seal it away. Chris Mercier still going on that far side of the field, and finally out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. And the flag will be against Waterville, and Thornton Academy, I believe the play is good, so Thornton Academy will just decline the penalty and take the turnover. And yes, that's exactly the case.
7th turnover. I think that probably will spell a W for Thornton Academy. With only 10:18 left, Waterville at least 3 possessions, and if they convert 2-point conversions on all 3 of them, would only tie this game up.
And Chris Mercier doing a great job there, and they tried the sideline and up play, and Neto trying to lay the ball out there for the intended receiver, Douglas, but Mercier reading it, flying over there, the ball just a little overthrown. Mercier caught it, and I thought he might go about 95 yards for 6, but brought down on the outside. Ryan True bouncing outside, picks up about 3 yards on the play. Thornton Academy now with 4 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, and Waterville really pretty much giving this one to Thornton Academy, although the Trojans have done what good teams usually do, is they convert turnovers into points, and Thornton's been able to do that this afternoon, showing a lot of poise and a lot of different weapons here this afternoon are starting to come forth, and the offensive line, a marked improvement over last week's performance. 2nd and 7. We're going to get another delay of game here against Thornton Academy. So that'll give Waterville a chance here to dig in defensively. Thornton now faced with a 2nd and 12. So Royce comes to the near side. True goes in motion. Looking for True. Ryan True looks up just as he's about to catch the ball. Both times Duranto on that pattern. First time it was tight end Josh Gregoire that he hit right on the hands, and that time it's Ryan True right on the hands. And of course, in traffic, you got to be a gutsy type receiver to catch that and take the hit. Both times the receivers have not answered. The Trojans now face the 3rd and 12. That was a gain of at least 10 on that play. They've yet to go back to that play. They got Mercier a 42-yard gain. I would have liked to see him run that a couple more times. They didn't show they could stop it. True coming outside, cuts up inside, a big hole, runs over man, stays on his feet, still going. Ryan True, oh yeah. the big bruising tailback. A 29-yard gain for True. And he's certainly ringing true this afternoon. A big tailback, really. That was a great cut up inside. He spots the hole, he goes for it, no hesitation there. And then he is taking on tacklers and just hammering them. And Ryan True, as I said, he said to me, I need a few touches in a game, and last week didn't really get the touches to ever get himself going. Thompson breaks up inside, breaks a tackle. Down inside the 20-yard line, another first down for Thornton Academy.
Now Thornton Academy just running the ball all over, very weary and probably mentally distraught Waterville defense. You know, Waterville's really, until this drive, held Thornton Academy in the second half. Their offense just couldn't put any scores up on the board. Now with only 8:50 left in this game, things do not look good for the Waterville Purple Panthers.
Eric Doyon goes to the far side of the field. Ricky Soroyce to the near. Demers and Mercier and Thompson in the backfield. It'll be Thompson again. Again, he breaks the tackle, trying to veer off that left side and runs into more traffic. He'll be stopped for no gain on the play. Well, you look around the league in Western A and Eastern A. Of course, Bangor showing themselves to be one of the powerhouse in Eastern A, and Lawrence having no problems last week. And, you know, Biddeford coming from behind, winning that game, a game that they certainly should have lost, but they don't lose, so that's all that matters. And up, we got a report earlier, 18-0, and they look to be one of the teams again this year contending, along with South Portland, the two familiar teams from last year, and a team that I thought would be very good. Portland is 0-2 right now. Demers trying to get outside, gets the corner. Demers stays on his feet, touchdown! Well, I'll tell you, that kid shows a lot of football in that little man right there. Last year in the final game of the season, Demers getting the only points for Thornton Academy, busting that one against Biddeford. And last week we saw him touch the football, show some great running skills. And right there, not only the speed of Nathan Demers, but you see the ability to break a couple of tackles. And he goes 18 yards for the touchdown.
Just excellent blocking, and Demers has tremendous speed. When he got to the corner, there wasn't a white jersey near him. All he did was break one tackle, and he was gone to the end zone. Waterville very tired, and Demers, excellent speed. And Andrew Tripp sticks another one through.
A very English-type name, Andrew Tripp. Nothing like Minho Choi, but the kicks are looking a lot like Minho Choi. Just pounded up through the post. And he continues his perfect afternoon, as do the Golden Trojans, now leading 31-0. Pitching the shutout with 7:44 to go. And you are watching Thornton Academy High School football on CTV30. Of course, at the conclusion of today's contest, Tony will be picking our gutsy players of the game, and there's a whole host of potential candidates, but there are a couple people that are standing out pretty big on both sides of the ball. And again, we'd like to thank Wagner's Market for sponsoring our gutsy player of the game. They're on 188 Lincoln Street, and also the Village Inn Restaurant on Saco Avenue in Old Orchard Beach. Excellent restaurant for sponsoring a scoreboard. We appreciate you coming aboard. High end-over-end kick, and again, it's Douglas trying to come up the middle, finds a little hole and gets it out to the 35-yard line. Douglas has returned a lot of kickoffs here today, and that's not a good sign if you're Waterville and head coach Frank Knight.
Two stats to really just stick out at me for Waterville. You have 7 turnovers and 6 penalties. 7 turnovers, you're not going to win a football game, and all their penalties come in crucial situations. You know, those just hurt you if you're Waterville, and the score is, you know, you can just post it up there, 31-0 Thornton Academy.
And those, as you said, those penalties are, in essence, almost a turnover, because 4 out of those 6 came on third down situations. Fired out in the flat, I believe it's complete. Caught out there by Kevin Douglas. Andrew Tripp in defensively covering up for the stop, but a gain of 10. It should be enough for a first down, and they do move the sticks. But in essence, as we said, those penalties, at least 4 of them coming at very, very crucial times They could be considered just like a turnover because you just took your team out of a potential first down situation and put them in 3rd and long and then 4th and long in a punting situation. So Waterville has not helped their own cause today, but Thornton Academy has made the most of everything that has come their way. And that last drive was very, very impressive as the running game featured exclusively in that one. And Ryan True and Nathan Demers, and you throw in a nice run from Thompson, and that correlated into 6 quick points.
And now Waterville is going to have to regroup after this week. I do not know who they play next week. But unlike Western Maine with only 8, they play 9 games. They have plenty of amount of games to remain. They obviously shouldn't make the playoffs up north, but it's going to be a tremendous defeat for them.
Hand off up the middle, and Thornton Academy has come in with a lot of substitutes here, and Waterville stays with their very patient offensive attack. It has got them a lot of yards today, but again, especially here in the second half, they have moved the football much better than they did in the first half, but they have been unable to convert, and the turnover has been the enemy. Next week, Oxford Hills visiting Waterville, so that'll be a good test for a lot of people around, and Oxford Hills definitely a decent team up there this year. They could very easily be 2-0. Good Oxford Hills right now.
The one thing that did impress me, as I told you earlier, Jay, number 18 for Oxford Hills, Frankie Rodriguez. The kid runs a 4.40. I don't know how many of those are there in the state of Maine, but boy, he can run.
Clock ticks down, 5:50 to play here in the 4th quarter. Tony Ryan along with Jay Harper as Tony fills in for Mark Paquette. Paquette will be back with us next week as Stefan Curvin really getting it going here. He just accelerated through that hole, ripping off 12 yards and giving Waterville another first down, but he's a little bit shaken up. He's been called on a lot here this afternoon. Steve Curtis for Thornton Academy, number 75, comes back off the field. Curtis, a 6 foot, 235-pound sophomore. First down and 10 for the Panthers, trying to put points on the board. The contest is no longer in jeopardy. Only thing, Thornton Academy trying to pitch the shutout here and reverse fortunes from 1 week ago.
Waterville almost turned the ball over for an 8th time. But again, I think Thornton Academy would like to hold the shutout, but you got to look at it from a couple of standpoints. Wet field, late in the game, you have a big lead. Take your starters out, keep them rested, and prevent any type of injuries that could hurt you down the road during the season.
And certainly Thornton Academy deep in some positions, but not a lot of depth in others. Neto trying to get outside. He's going to be hemmed in and hammered down. Craig Lebrecht along with Dennis Hunt, 2 big little players, and those guys got hearts about as big as they come. Dennis Hunt had a great special team season last year, and when he did get in defensively, he usually made something happen, and right away he's in and he makes a big play along with Lebrecht as they combine for the sack. Rain has come back. It's been a off and on shower here this afternoon, a light rain throughout, but it stops for about 10 minutes, comes back. 3rd down and 15 now. Neto up over the middle, gets his receiver, and Farron comes up along with Lebrecht to make this tackle, a gain of 10. It'll bring up a 4th down and 5, so Trojans one more play here could just about close out the afternoon in complete perfection. Again, a lot of players really having themselves a huge afternoon. The good thing about this victory, the confidence level, this team is a good team. I felt that going into the season. Very surprised at some of the early picks, and again, they're a lot better than what they showed last week down at Noble. Their backfield is about as talented as there is in the state, and they come back and show that here today. And again, next week they're back home again with Bonnie Eagle. And again, look at that. A 3rd or 4th down, a pivotal play, and Waterville offsides.
That is an unraveling team. I mean, that is an undisciplined team right there. That is not a normal Waterville Frank Knight coach team. It's just not. I've never seen anything like that from a team like Waterville or Bangor, a team that normally is a perennial power, and they've just unraveled today. They just have not played well.
And in crucial situations, I mean, in between the 220s, you know, they're getting things done, but then they come up with a big third down or fourth down play, and they're offsides or the turnover. And again now, 4th down and 10, and Eric Neto splits Bay to the opposite side of the field now. They switch over in the backfield with Douglas and Chad Hart standing behind Neto. Neto to throw. Pressure coming in, and he is hammered. Whoa, what a stick by Gregoire. They say it's a live football. Josh Gregoire, number 32, coming from the weak side defensive end position, and he just put a helmet and a pad on senior Eric Neto, and they call it a live football, not an incomplete pass, so the Trojans get yet another turnover, and this one considered a fumble. So now you have 4 fumbles, 4 interceptions, and you have a big L next to Waterville here this afternoon, and that'll bring out Josh Farron, the backup QB, taking over responsibilities for Chris Duranto, and the clock sitting at 2:43. Demers coming up through. He fumbles it, but I believe he fell right back on it. Very fortunate there. The ball bounced right back at him. Demers, he shows that great speed. He found that hole again and just bang, popped right through it. Picked up 4 yards on the play. Thornton does have some very good backup running backs.
Very deep in the running back core this year. Of course, Ryan True, Chris Mercier, Brian Thompson, but bringing guys like LeBrecq and Demers, you know, they're deep. I mean, this is one of the deepest backfields I can ever remember on a high school football team, at least in Western Class A. I don't know about up north.
And again, all hungry runners, too. These are runners who are not afraid to get to the hole and put a helmet down against the tackler as well. And certainly right now, Thornton Academy, again, that offensive line has just really turned it around from last week. Thornton, without that preseason scrimmage and having to travel, go on the road, and Friday night contest, they got another big one this year up at Lewiston. They've always done well at Lewiston over the years, a place that they've played very well. Dating back to our broadcast, of course, the 1989 season when they featured a sophomore fullback named Art Laveris. From that moment on, they have just really dominated up in Lewiston. But this year, Lewiston, a tough team. They'll be a tough opponent on the schedule coming up. I believe that's an October 11th contest. But that's the only other Friday night game. And, of course, on the road at Marshwood, another place, though, that they play very well. They usually win on the road. LeBrecq gets the call, breaks the tackle. He gets forward for 5. So that's a good thing about this year's schedule. A couple of the road games are places that Thornton, over the years, has played very, very well. In Marshwood-Thornton series, it's almost been a 50-50 split where Marshwood wins here at Thornton and Thornton wins down there. And it's almost been that year after year. So actually Thornton getting the home field advantage this season with a game down in Elliott. They give Thornton Academy the first down, the ball just at midfield, and they wind the clock at 1:52 and running. Aaron Case, number 45, comes to the near side. The pitch out to Demers, gets a kick-out block from LeBrecq, but a nice job by Chad Hart coming inside. Demers and LeBrecq, both juniors. Now Josh Farron hands the baton over to Chris Brockman. Brockman, number 13, 6 foot, 170-pound junior. Demers in motion, fumble, snap. Brockman comes out there with it, though. Scrambles out, tries to find some blocking. That's the biggest thing when you step into the lineup is that first exchange from center to quarterback. 3rd down and 7 now as Hunt and Gregoire come in. Waterville asked for a timeout. 43 seconds to play. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy 31, Waterville nothing. And if you had said that before today's contest, that would be a score, I don't think too many people around here would have believed it. I knew Thornton Academy could turn it around, but the big size of Waterville and, of course, the wet field, you would have thought would have favored their style of football. But Thornton Academy, of course, playing solid defense and getting the big turnovers. Again, that outstanding secondary for Thornton Academy. All three of them with an interception here this afternoon. Mercier had one, Farron had one, Allen had one, and then your rover, your outside linebacker, who is mostly your, I believe Topham plays the rover linebacker. I don't know if it's him or Booten. I'm pretty sure it's him, although it could be the other way around, but he's the other one who has the interception, and then the fumble recoveries, a couple for Duras and one for Grantham. And the last one, I don't see who finally recovered that for Thornton Academy on the big sack from Josh Gregoire, but Thornton Academy certainly doing it in every facet of the game. Special teams, defense, offense, first teamers, second teamers, everyone contributing here today. 3rd down and 7. Brockman pitches out to Demers. Demers scampers to the outside, breaks one tackle, trying to break another one, and hauled down out there by number 7, Adam Libby. And the good thing for Demers is he stays inbounds, forces Waterville to use another timeout. And at this point, 29 seconds to go, I disagree with this. As a opposing coach, there's just no reason for this. You are down 31-0. It's a wet field. You're definitely not going to win this game. You know, why do this? Just, you know, again, you always want to score. You don't like being shut out, but you don't go to this extremes to try to avoid a shutout.
No, I agree with you.
I don't believe so. I get my team on the bus, and I get that long road trip in motion. And I regroup next week for Oxford Hills, who is a very formidable team. And they're, you know, again, surprising people in Eastern A. They did it a few years back that they were not a pick of the team, and they came one game away from winning the whole thing. They lost to Waterville in the championship game of Eastern A, and that was the year, of course, Waterville went on and really looked like they had a victory against the Biddeford Tigers. And then, of course, who was the running back with that great return on the
Steve Tardif.
Steve Tardif, and just a tremendous game, and certainly keeping Biddeford's well-documented championship run alive. So Thornton will be forced to punt here, and in to do the punting for Thornton Academy is Sean Carey. Carey, a outstanding young golfer, and didn't play football last year. Decided this year he wanted to play some football and keep that Carey tradition alive, and he's going to have it blocked and potentially avoiding the shutout. They almost had a chance to pick up and go. Again, a high, slow snap coming at Carey, and he didn't have a lot of time to do much with it.